Hi friends, let's talk about the technical round interview. In this video, I'll give you some important tips for your preparation for the technical round. Remember, these tips are useful for everyone, irrespective of your field of study or whatever job you're doing. These are pretty generic and important tips. I follow a 6-step process in preparing for technical round, so let's discuss about the individual steps in detail. The first one, understand the job description clearly. Now that you have received an interview call or it is already scheduled, it is important that you have a very good understanding of the job description. So, what do you mean by having a good understanding of the job description? Here are some important factors to understand. Do you understand the role for which your job posting or whatever job you have applied? So, what are the skills that are required for the job? Highlight those skills that you're poor. You need some preparation. So, it is important to identify those skills. You need further preparation and highlight them, and keep in mind to have some preparation time for that. So what are the processes they are following, or at least they are asking for the knowledge in those processes? What are the level of language skills they are looking for? So these are the questions you need to put to have a good understanding about the job description. The reason why I'm telling you this as a first step is that the more you understand about the job description and the job, about the role, and also about the company, the better your preparation for the interview will be. The next steps we are going to discuss are going to be based on this first step. I always recommend people to take a print of the job description and keep that hard copy with you and read it multiple times. The second step, understand the company and industry better. This step is one step above the first step that we have discussed about the job description. Understanding the company and the industry in which it is operating is extremely important to have an idea what kind of products they are developing and what are the processes they are using and where is your project fitting into the whole bigger picture. So this is going to be a very important step where you will have a clear understanding where your job role is going to fit into that complete company and in which processes you are going to get involved. For the interview perspective, it is important, and this step helps you to engage in the conversation with the interviewer about the further developments, ask him more about the company and the challenges faced. So with this step, the interviewer will have some positive points for you as you also understand higher level of landscape with regards to the company and the industry. The third step, analyze and prepare for the skills asked. So we have already discussed this topic of skill analysis and find out what are the skill gaps that are there. And now it is time to look at the skills asked by the employer for this particular job posting. If you find any skills which you feel you do not have enough experience or you do not have some kind of idea, then it is time to have a preparation for those skills or at least understand what are the skills. If you cannot gather some experience, it is not a problem, but having an understanding at least on those particular technologies or particular skills is going to give an advantage in the interview. Remember, the technical rounds in Germany are more focused on the processes part, and they will try to get to know how did you involve in the process and why you have used this particular technology and what is the advantage, and all those kind of discussions are going to happen. So they are actually looking at your problem solving skills. One major difference I have found in Germany is that the interviewers intention is to know more about you rather than going an interrogation way to check you how depth your knowledge is in a particular skill. So do analyze the skills and prepare better in terms of how you have used various technologies or frameworks, in which processes they were used and what were the benefits your project had with those technologies. Next one, the fourth step, get to know the processes. Remember, processes are more important than skills. Having the skills is the first criteria, but better you know the processes, the more advantage you will have in discussions, because mostly it is the process that drives the conversation. So it is important to have a good understanding about the processes and what are the special processes that you have used in your previous projects, and highlight those kind of processes and tell what is the advantage your projects had. How did it actually speed up the process of creating a product or a process of executing the project, and operations, etc. So for software engineers, it could be something like using the agile methodology for the software development or product development, and Kanban for support engineers. And for chemical and mechanical engineers who are involved in operations, you should prepare for the industry standard operations and also the safety standards that were followed. So if you have followed some safety standards, please highlight them. And if some German safety standards, it is also really good, because this is very important for anybody who is coming to work in a chemical or mechanical field. So remember, safety standards and standard operating procedures, knowledge on those things are going to be a lot beneficial. The fifth step, get to know your interviewers. A lot of people underestimate this step, but remember, when you know more about the interviewers, you will be much more comfortable in the interview. In general, you do not have a chance to know interviewers in person or before the interview. But what I generally do is that I look at the list of interviewers that are part of the interview. You can see them in the calendar invitation you have received from the company. So I take their names and start searching for them on the LinkedIn or Google. By looking at their profiles, you will be able to get an understanding about their background and the technologies they are involved in and in which positions they are currently working for the company. So this gives a very good idea about their current role, and sometimes even you can get even a glimpse into the projects or products they are involved in. So what you are actually doing is to get a 360-degree view of the job posting and the interviewers. This will boost your confidence in the interview and makes you feel really comfortable, because this actually drives out the fear of not knowing the interviewers and what is going to come in the interview as a kind of challenge for you. This will be completely gone. That is the reason why I always suggest to the candidates, go look at some information that is already available in the public domain about those people and have a good understanding. You do not have to highlight these things in the interview and that I know about this, I know about that. Don't do that. Just have an understanding about what are the field of interest they have worked in and what is their passion, and in terms of what kind of projects they have worked with, what is their background experience with their previous companies. So this will give a clear idea about how to drive the conversation and what technologies they are interested in and what are their opinions about those technologies and all those things. This is very important step. And sixth step, prepare your questions. The interviewers in Germany will give you a fair chance to ask any questions to them. So it is not you who is answering all the time. You're also given an opportunity to interact with them, to get to know them, and also about the company. Remember, the interview is about getting to know both the sides much better. So I always recommend to the candidates that prepare some questions you wanted to ask and keep them ready. Some of the sample questions might be like, when is the project starting? How many team members are already working on the project? Or are there any plans for the company for the further expansion? Or is there any development in a particular direction? Something like this. So have at least 2 to 3 questions, and in the process of discussion, if you find that interviewer has already discussed this kind of topics with you, then better don't shoot those questions. But if you have those 1 or 2 questions which you wanted to clarify, it can be about job opportunity, it can be about company, it can be about a project, whatever, ask them. So the whole idea behind this step is to get a better picture of the opportunity. The interviewer also will feel good about your questions, and if they really carry a good relevance into the company and project, it will give you a positive point in their mind about you. So follow these 6 steps and I'm sure you will do very well at the technical rounds. If you need further assistance in preparation, do not forget to book an appointment and I will help you to give some suggestions to improvise on the technical round discussions. Until then, see you in the next section. Thank you.